JT Tuimoloau is a dog. And if he keeps progressing at the clip that he is, he could be an All-American in 2023.
You are Locked On Buckeyes, your daily podcast on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, Buckeye fans? Welcome back to another episode of Locked On Buckeyes for the Locked On Podcast Network. I'm your host, Jay Stevens, also the host of the Jay Stevens Podcast. It is Thursday, January 26th in the year 2023, and this episode is brought to you by our friends at FanDuel Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Locked On. Make every moment more. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn today to get started. We will discuss what role JT Tuimoloau should play for the Buckeyes in 2023 and if Justice Sueing can become a better player and a better leader for the Buckeye basketball team throughout the last half of their season. But before we get to any of that, today's show, if you have not realized it by now, it is all about JT Tuimoloau. Real name is Jalen. Probably going to start using that from now on. Probably will not use JTT because I don't believe that's anywhere close to what he would like to be used as an abbreviation for his name. But Jalen Tuimoloau, second-year player in 2022, starter for the Buckeyes, and this young man showed that he can ball and he can make some special plays in college football. We still marvel at what he did against Penn State. And that performance, we marvel at what Chase Young did against Wisconsin, that 4-sack game a few years ago. JT Tuimoloau, his tip pass, the interception that he had, the fumble recovery, scoop and score, he just did it all. I mean, did it all. 2 interceptions. He had his hand in all 4 turnovers that the Buckeyes defense had in that game. He did it all. That was one game. Yes, Tuimoloau made major plays, big plays throughout major portions of games, but those were not the norm. It would have been nice if those things were the norm. That was more a flash of what can happen when he's at his best. What we saw in 2022 from Tuimoloau was a guy that showed up against Penn State, that showed up in some big moments, that had some games where he had 4+ tackles in the game. We also saw some inconsistent play. Now, I'm going to use some numbers here to describe how he played in 2022, and I'm going to tell you, you can't take everything with these numbers because of the position that he played. Actually, any position in general. You cannot just look at numbers and say so-and-so played this way. Because of how they played, you see how they played in the box score. That's how they played. You cannot do that. Tuimoloau had 2 games where he had 0 tackles. One of them being the last game of the season against the Georgia Bulldogs. He had 2 pass breakups, but 0 tackles, nothing. Against Penn State, 6 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, a touchdown, a pass breakup, a fumble recovery, and a forced fumble. I mean, like I said, he did it all in that game. He also had a 0 tackle performance against Michigan State. 1 tackle against Notre Dame, 1 against Arkansas State, 1 against Wisconsin. I'm not going to put it all on the numbers, but I would like to see a little bit more. I would like to see a few more tackles, a few more things where he has his hands involved. Maybe it might not be tackles. Maybe it might be more pass breakups or forced fumbles or things like that, to where he is making a physical impact in the game every time he's on the field. He had 10.5 tackles for loss, or TFLs as we will call it for short. That's amazing. I mean, if you have 10 plus TFLs, you're doing something right. But I would like to see Tuimoloau be more consistent in 2023. He was an all Big Ten first teamer this past season. Why not up the stakes and say, hey, all Big Ten, and my first year as a starter, great. How about we up it and say, how about we become an All-American? And by doing so, what it takes to be an All-American, it is consistent play. Every single game, a player that's his teammate, that's right behind him on the defense, Tommy Eichenberg was schemed against. Or he schemed for, whichever word you want to use. But other offenses knew you have to know where Eichenberg is every play. You have to know what Eichenberg is doing. Pre-snap, what's he doing? What are you anticipating post-snap? You have to do those things because Tommy Eichenberg was consistently good on the football field. Some might say consistently great, but he was consistent above average, really good on the football field every time he was out there. I'm not saying Tuimoloau had missed assignments or things of that nature. I do understand he got held a lot, and also a lot of teams are running away from him or right inside of him. And that's a part of the reason why the numbers for Tuimoloau are the way that they are. But you would like to see more consistent play from JT Tuimoloau. And ultimately, I think if Jalen is a kid who plays more consistent, All-America might be the next thing for him as far as an accolade, a major accolade at the end of the 2023 college football season. It's possible. I'm not even saying get an invite to New York for the Heisman Trophy ceremony. I'm not. I understand that's hard to do as a defensive end. I'm not even saying that. What I'm saying is this. This young man is talented. He has the skill set to play multiple positions for the Buckeyes during different situations, during different games. If the game dictates this, Tuimoloau can fulfill that role. If the game dictates that, Jalen is a guy to go right there and to play that position in this game. A more consistent or simply a consistent Tuimoloau in 2023, along with Larry Johnson and his teaching techniques and coaching techniques, along with the other people that are part of the Buckeye football program, we are on the verge of seeing a player in Tuimoloau, a different skill set, but he's probably going to add speed, cut down the body fat, work on his nutrition, stay fluid, stay hydrated, all of those things. And if he keeps doing those things day in, day out, we could be looking at a player in Jalen Tuimoloau who next year could be his final year playing as a Buckeye, but 2 could be an All-American, and 3, if he's consistent, every single game, wreaking havoc, messing things up in the backfield for the opposing offense. Jalen Tuimoloau could also be a first-round pick in the 2024 NFL Draft if he decides to come out of college early and declare for the NFL Draft. Jalen Tuimoloau is one of my favorite players on the Buckeyes. I am actually contemplating, here, real talk, I'm contemplating finding a way to buy a jersey. I never thought I would buy a number 44, which is, yes, the number does hold me up from buying a jersey. But I would love to have a Tuimoloau jersey at some point in time because he is that good. If you want to look at my closet, I got football jerseys. I got basketball jerseys. Most of the guys are Hall of Famers, either in a college or the pro level. Now, granted, I do have a Carlos Hyde jersey from the 49ers, former Buckeye running back. I like watching him play, so I went ahead and got that jersey. It was also a black alternate jersey for it to be unique. With all that in mind, the number thing too, I would love a Tuimoloau jersey at some point in time because he is that good. He's that dude. And if this man is consistent in 2023, consistently playing good football, the college football world better watch out because Tuimoloau is going to bust some heads while he's on the football field. For him to bust heads on the football field, he must be in the proper position every time he's on the field. Let's discuss a few areas, a few ways Tuimoloau can be put in the proper position-wise, for him and the Buckeye defense to be all it can be in 2022. We will discuss that next right here on Locked on Buckeyes. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. The NFL playoffs are here. We're really excited about our new sports betting partner for Locked On because they're the #1 sports book in America, FanDuel. And if you're new to FanDuel, that's even better. They have so many great features that make betting on sports fun and easy. New customers join today to get started with $150 in free bets, guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/LockedOn. FanDuel has all your favorite bets from the money line to point spreads to player props. Plus, you can even combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with a same game parlay. All on the app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. So, football fans, don't miss out. Place your first $5 bet to get $150 in free bets, win or lose. At FanDuel.com/locked on. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Thanks for making Locked On Buckeyes your first listen every day. Make sure you check out our brand new podcast, Locked On College Basketball. It provides everything you need to know about college basketball in one place. Plus, hear from big-name experts, insiders, coaches, and players. Locked On College Basketball is available on YouTube and wherever you get your fine podcasts. JT Tuimoloau is an interesting football player. While he was being recruited by Ohio State out of, I believe his town is near Seattle, Washington, it was clear watching the football tape from high school, he's not normal. 6'4", I think he's about 270, 275 pounds, can move the way he does, is as agile as he is as elusive as he is as great in space as he is, has the hands that he has. He is just different. A multi-sport athlete in high school. He played both ways in high school. He is someone that was someone who could possibly play football and basketball at the Ohio State University because he is that talented. Ultimately, he is stuck with the football. Now, I don't know if on the basketball team, if he was there, the team would play any better because I think they have a lot of issues and one person cannot fix them. But ultimately, Tuimoloau was there and he played the basketball with the guys. He also was a person that just loves to be athletic, loves sports. And so that comes up in his behavior and his smile and just seeing him have fun on the football field. I believe that man loves what he does. You're traditionally going to see Tuimoloau hand in the dirt, 3-point stance in a 4-2-5 or 4-3 look, whichever one the Buckeyes come out in. There may be times when the Buckeyes are in a 4-3 or still a 4-down lineman set, and he'll be in a 2-point stance. Now, when the Buckeyes go 3-3-5 and drop a defensive end back to linebacker depth or a yard or two in front of that, ultimately, that's more the Jack Sawyer role. You may want to. I've heard Caden Curry go in that role. I don't know. I don't think that's the role for Caden Curry, but we'll have to wait and see what the Ohio State coaches do in regards to that position. In comes my thought about JT Tuimoloau. Tuimoloau is too good to not put on the field. Tuimoloau needs to not have his hand in the dirt every single play. And with that in mind, and what we saw from Zach Harrison this year, where Zach Harrison at times and occasionally lined up at the tackle, a position that I do think, especially in rushman packages or true passing or automatic passing downs, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 18, 2nd and 12, those types of things. 2nd and 25. Those types of things, so you know it's going to be an automatic passing down. Why not put Jalen Tuimoloau in at the tackle? You may want to say, Jay, do the Buckeyes have 4 defensive ends that can play there? Maybe not 4. You got Jack Sawyer. You got Tuimoloau. If you want to put up one of the freshmen or somebody else since there was a backup, you lost Javonte Jean-Baptiste. You can leave Aaron Donald. Wow, maybe Aaron Donald is a nickname amongst his teammates. You can leave Mike Hall Jr. right there at the tackle. And imagine Mike Hall Jr., who is a good pass rushing defensive tackle, Tuimoloau, who has leverage, strength, and ability and agility better than what most of the guards or centers would block that when he's in that position. Also somebody who could play a little defensive end, hand in the ground. It's going to be a nightmare. So if you want to go 4-down lineman set, I think he's going to be your starting defensive end, probably strong side defensive end. I do think that's going to be his area, his calling card. Perfectly fine with that. But I wouldn't be so quick to say 3-3-5 Jack hybrid DN linebacker position. I wouldn't be so quick to say Jack Sawyer is there because I still will hold true to this statement. Tuimoloau is a better hybrid linebacker than Sawyer. I've seen the young man do it in high school all the time. I've seen him do it and be able to move in space and have the agility and the elusiveness to do that. I've seen him do it in college. I think that's probably a more ideal thing. Plus, imagine this. You got 40-pound, 235, Tommy Eichenberg, 230 or 235, Steel Chambers. Then all of a sudden, you got a guy who weighs 275 in Tuimoloau right there for you. Bring a little bit more of a thud, a little bit better hand placement on the blocker. All of those things, I do think Tuimoloau should not just have his hand in the dirt, but occasionally when Jim Knowles wants to call that 3-3-5 look and allow the stand-up defensive end to make a play, Tuimoloau can play that position probably better than anybody on the football field. Now, granted, you may want to say, Jay, Sonny Styles is there. I don't see Sonny Styles being no hybrid defensive end in college. That's not his calling card. His calling card, though, is this. This young man can ball. This young man's really good. Let's put him in the right areas for him to be successful. Keep this in mind as well. Tuimoloau in space, we haven't seen the end of it. You can have him at defensive end. You can have him at D tackle. You can have him at D tackle in the rushman package. You can have him standing up. I think you need to utilize all of these things because of who he is. And imagine this little off the wall, little different types of thinking. But imagine goal line setting. Let's say it's second and goal with 3 yards to go. Do you put him at the D line or have a little bit more of a pop there at linebacker to have a more of a head-to-head collision with Tuimoloau and the ball carrier? Ultimately, that might be a thought amongst some. I would still say keep him on the line in that situation. I don't think I want to waste that strength, that ability, the leverage that he can get with someone who is already here at that time. So that's where we are. Tuimoloau, starting defensive end. I want to see him stand up more. I ultimately think he's a better stand-up defensive end than some of the other cast members that are a part of this show. Tuimoloau, he's fun to watch. A lot of fun to watch. If he gets more consistent and he's put in the right places to be successful, watch out, college football, because y'all will not want to see number 44 when he is on the football field. What person who some Big Ten basketball teams want to see on the basketball court, his name is Justice Sueing, a leader for the Buckeyes, someone who is struggling of late, who needs some help to get his mojo back. But can he be the leader the Buckeyes need right now as they're fighting, not just fighting right now to move up in the Big Ten standings and also truly fighting to make the NCAA tournament? We'll discuss all that next right here on Locked on Buckeyes. Sports betting is now legal in Ohio, and Locked On has a perfect show to help new and seasoned gamblers. Download and subscribe to Locked On Bets for daily picks and analysis wherever you get your fine podcasts. So I was prepared to come on here, close the show out on a happy note, a high note, and try to find a happy topic in regards to this basketball team. There are quite a few. We may discuss one on a later show, but ultimately right now it's about Justice Sueing and his desire, the team's desire of needing a leader, and I think he has what it takes to be that leader that Ohio State needs. Ultimately, we have not seen that yet, and I wonder when it's going to happen or if it's going to happen, because Ohio State desperately needs a leader with this basketball team. It's not just because of the 5-game losing streak that they had, and it just came off after a win against Iowa. They lose to Illinois on the road. They go on the road to Indiana this coming Saturday. This team desperately needs a leader. You have way too many freshmen playing. 4 freshmen. Yes, the best player is a freshman, but Bruce Thornton, Felix Okpara, Rodney Gale Jr., they need a leader, man. They need somebody they can lead on in crucial moments that can pump them up or provide a reality check or whatever the case might be that they need at that time. They need somebody to give that to them, and they don't have that right now. I don't know when it's going to come, and I think that's a big problem with this basketball team, because as they're trying to scratch and claw and fight to stay in the NCAA tournament, or to get in the NCAA tournament, you want a leader, man. Like, you need a leader. You want somebody to step up, be a leader for you, do all the great things, do all the big things. You want someone to help you. Who is it with this team? Zedke, no. Isaac Likely was a good leader for Oklahoma State over the past few years. I think his leadership could come up over the next few weeks. Sean McNeil, West Virginia basketball player over the past few years, he could be a leader. I don't know if he's the type of person to assume that role. Zedke, he can be a leader. I think he's helping Felix Akpara, but Zedke's dealing with injury. And that might mess up his mentals and his psyche as far as being a leader for this team. You get the gist, you get the drift. They need a leader. I don't know if that leader is currently on the Buckeye roster, and I hope that Justice Suing has consistent plays. I'm not saying like 25, 8, and 8, but if that happens, that would be amazing. Why not 18, 14, 19, 15, 8 rebounds, 6 assists? Those types of games. Now, granted, maybe that all of that might not be his game, but every once in a while, you got to step outside of yourself, outside of the box, to be successful when you're playing the sport or even coaching the sport that you love. Right here on this Thursday, guys, one more show for the week. It's all about Ryan Day tomorrow. Can't give you too many details, but you don't want to miss it. You can follow me on Twitter at jstevens07. You can send all of your emails to jstevens317@gmail.com. We're out of here on this Thursday. We will be back tomorrow discussing a major important topic about Ohio State's football coach, Mr. Ryan Day.